Hey, what's up, everybody? Rob Marzullo here, Ram Studio Comics. Welcome back. And I'm going to do another little test run here, so forgive any technical difficulties we might experience. I'm just trying to, like that right there. Sorry, that was the audio from the commercial that started playing. Now I'm probably going to get banned from Twitch. Great. That's just awesome. Anyways, so yeah, I'm still kind of working out the bugs. I did a live stream yesterday that totally got crushed, lost it, but whatever. Moving forward, so now what I'm trying to do is make sure that I'm recording as that I'm actually recording the live stream on my own device or setup as I'm live streaming it. Because I guess they only stay on Twitch for like 14 days, which I just found that out, and I thought that was pretty crazy. Hopefully they'll change that at some point, but I imagine these files get, really consuming on their end. And I didn't shut off my phone. Man, I'm like messing up here. Hold on. Let's go ahead and turn that down. Come on. Stupid phone. Alright, sorry about that. Excusez-moi. Okay, so what I wanted to do here, even though this is just a test run, I wanted to try Photoshop and try recording on this heavier resolution. And let me know what the quality looks like on your guys' end. Well, by your guys, I mean one person that's watching right now. Just let me know what the quality's like, because I want to kind of get all this stuff figured out and working. And then I'll be more confident to start doing these tutorials or walkthroughs or whatever. But this one, I'm just going to do a quick little silhouette study that I do. So basically, I start drawing. Oh man, I lost my one person. That's harsh. Okay, so I just start drawing in a silhouette form first, or painting, I should say. But it's a really neat way to kind of do it because I don't know, it's just kind of a creative way to do it. So I'll show you the way that I try to work it out. So I'm focusing more on the silhouette than, the details at this point, but still kind of trying to picture the details as I draw on the silhouette to this character dude. I don't know who it is yet. And you see it's just a basic square brush. I mean, nothing extravagant there. It's about as plain Jane as it gets. I just got, just so you know, I've got transparency pen pressure set on both of those, which I do that for like all my painting brushes. Just feels like it gives me the best effect for painting that I'm after. So yeah, the neat thing about doing these studies like this and doing the silhouette first is I think it helps out with certain forms. I definitely enjoy working this way. Like, and it's kind of easy to move things around because you're not so bogged down by all the little details yet. Like where's the anatomy exactly going? I mean, you can see I kind of hinted towards like the chest line and the rib cage, but I'm not so focused on it where it's distracting me from the overall shape that I'm trying to put down. And it's kind of amazing how much you can really get into a silhouette. How much information you can extract out of a silhouette. So once you start studying that, it's another way to kind of recognize flaws or, things in your work, and get them just right. So yeah, if you haven't tried this, it's a fun technique to do. And it actually works with just about anything. Like I do these ones, I did a couple YouTube videos on it, and I did these ones where I was doing like alien ships off silhouettes, and I'd watched it from another artist's videos. I want to say it was Scott Robertson. The guy does some amazing stuff. But yeah, I saw how they were conceptualizing with that technique, and so I tried it, and I was, pretty pleased with the effect of it. Like it just works kind of. I imagine like anything else, the more practice and the better you get at it and feel more comfortable with it. But I'm still relatively new to working this way. I'm so used to drawing everything. So obviously, like, this character's got this huge funky forearm, right? So, I just come back with the eraser, and I usually like to set the eraser to the same brush, just so I'm kind of getting this, I don't know, consistent feel to what I'm doing. So then I'll just, again, focusing on that silhouette and going, his form wouldn't come out quite that much. Maybe it dips in, a bit here and chisel it off there, whatever. And I'll just make these incremental changes, and then I'll, maybe select the form here. Oh, Command D, I've already got the whole thing selected. And then edit, transform, distort. So you just edit the work like that. Just move things around, change the size, change the silhouette, or the shape of it, whatever. And get as much information in at this stage as you can. And then another way to do it, you could immediately start drawing over this, which is what I generally will do. If this was all that I wanted with the character, let's say, I don't know, let's say he's got some kind of shoulder pieces that come up like this. I haven't quite figured out the suit design yet, but we'll say he's got these shoulder pieces here. Maybe he's got some kind of gauntlet type thing going on, so we'll do a little hint of that, even though, again, you can't really see much of that yet. I don't really want to give him a helmet, or at least nothing that looks too much like a helmet, so maybe just a small definition of something, and we'll get into that here in a second. Spikes. Spikes are always cool. I don't know. We might veto that idea, but we'll throw it in there for now. So we'll say that, and this is just going to be an upper body, just to keep it simple and kind of focus on what I'm trying to explain here. So let's just say that this was enough. I already got the feel like this is some kind of Mad Max type villain or something. Now, one way to do it, I'll make a copy of this, Command J, and I can either just drop the opacity right here, like that, and I can come back in with my fine line tool and start drawing, and that's my guide, my marker to work with. Another way to do it is build another layer over top, or you can paint over the existing, it really doesn't matter, and just pick a different value. So this can be a neat way to do it as well. So you basically are still using a pretty good sized brush, not focusing on details as much as if you went right to line work, and then just start, blocking in some of the areas to kind of build up, what you might be thinking about with your design or your character. And, this value effect it doesn't have to be shaded like I even did right there. It could be like a lot more hard edge, It's probably a better idea to do it this way, where it's a lot more solid, because you can kind of make out the shapes better. So let's say, we've got like this more solid shape on the face or something, on the front of those spikes or whatever, and then just work up from there. Just keep adding in shapes, and the beauty of these layers is you can add and take away without hurting anything before, so you can really just experiment and see if any of this will come out the way that you want. So yeah, it's a neat way to do things. I typically draw everything, so I got to fight the urge to just get in there and start adding just lines, But this can really kind of change it up for you if you're stuck in that same way of designing like I am. And I'm constantly adjusting the size of the brush as I go. Just kind of playing around with shapes and seeing what I want to see in there. Yeah, and let me know if you guys got any questions. Looks like a few people are watching now. And, if you want to see a certain thing in the design, a lot of times these things are pretty cool when, somebody offers a bit of design advice, and I try to incorporate that in there. So feel free to interject and let me know what you think. And if the quality's good, if you can hear everything. Those comments let me know that I'm not just talking to air. Anybody? Somebody? Hello? Hello? Alright, so no one's gonna talk to me, so I'll just keep working here by myself. I'm not digging this whole part. Let me just X this out. So let me go back to my safe zone, unfortunately. So I'm gonna merge this down and I'm gonna drop opacity, and I'll show you the other way where I would just use this as a template kind of, and jump in here with the pencil and go back to more what I would typically do, which would add a layer over top and start drawing. Oh, as I knock my phone off the table. So yeah, so now I can basically just use this as, again, a guide to do my sketch. And a lot of times I'll draw and paint this way anyways, where I'll go back and forth from drawing in some details, then painting some details, and kind of a hybrid of the two. Because I mean, there's really no right or wrong way and one set way that you have to do it. It's just whatever you feel comfortable with and whatever gets you through your piece that day. Now, for the people that are watching, what's your program of choice? What are you gonna like to see on here more? Are you gonna want to see more Photoshop or Manga Studio, also known as Clip Studio Paint? Anybody got a preference that's watching right now? Man, I got a really quiet audience today. Starting to wonder if that's really an audience at all, or those are some fictitious numbers I'm seeing. No preference. Alright, finally somebody. Young Tay, appreciate that. It's getting lonely over here, goodness. But I guess that's what I get for just randomly live streaming and not telling anybody. I'll learn as I go here. So no preference on the software. What software do you use then? Yeah, it's a very quiet audience. God, it was this. You know what this reminded me of? One of the masks from. Goodness, what is it? 300. I think one of the 300 helmets had this kind of almost look to it, with the mouth was open right here or something. So we'll do that. It's an awesome movie, by the way. Young Tay says, I mainly draw traditionally, but for digital I use Sketchbook Pro. Yeah, I don't blame you. That's an awesome program. As you probably saw, we used that one yesterday, and I'm kind of going to bounce back and forth. When I feel like just drawing, that's what I go to. When I feel like painting, it's out of this one in Manga Studio. So yeah, it's just whatever I'm feeling that day kind of thing. But I hope that I don't distract too much, where people think, oh man, I don't know what to follow about this guy's work because, he uses all these different programs. But I kind of do that because I truly feel that they all offer something unique, that I can't seem to get entirely in the other one. You can you can make all these programs do anything, and probably the most versatile would be this one. Photoshop can do it all, really, with a little more effort in some areas, like perspective drawing and things like that. But they can all accomplish fantastic artwork, just like any tablet can accomplish fantastic artwork. But yeah, I just really enjoy exploring each program. So then I think I might come across as a little bit too ADD or something, like I'm bouncing around and I don't know which one to pick. I like them all, but it's just the way it is. I just think they all have something cool about them. And the big one was perspective. When I started using Sketchbook Pro, the perspective in it was just amazing. This perspective drawing, and none of them had it at that point. Or I guess Manga Studio did, but I really liked Sketchbook Pro's interactive way of doing that with the little cursor thing that moved or moves as you design it. So yeah, that's probably my favorite perspective tool, and probably a close second, and maybe even starting to take the first place is Procreate. So again, with another software, but their perspective tools in that one are awesome. Yeah, Young Tay says, I think using multiple programs keeps things fresh and interesting. Yeah, I do too. I mean, like I said, I know some people probably look at it and think I'm getting distracted or something, but I just really like when I find something unique and cool about each one. Like Photoshop, I can definitely move the fastest. This isn't a great example of it, but when I'm painting, I can move the fastest because of all the shortcut commands, and that's because I've used it the longest. But Photoshop is really geared for professional work, so it has a lot of shortcuts, and you can get into macros and all that stuff. So there's just a lot of things inside of Photoshop that make it a really strong program to work quickly through. But I feel like I draw the fastest and get the most responsiveness in Sketchbook Pro, and then Manga Studio is like the best for when I'm working on my comic. It's fantastic because of the whole page layout setup, and probably the most bang for the buck as far as all the tools that it has for comic creation. So if you're making a comic book, I really recommend Manga Studio and like the EX version, even though you got to flip the extra coin. But the beauty of that one too is you own it. Like I have to pay a monthly subscription fee for Photoshop. I mean, I guess I don't have to, but I do, and I get all of Photoshop's or Adobe's products, which are great. There's just a lot of cool products with this with the suite. You can get some storage space and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a great professional setup. All right, and let's see. Probably add some more value to this. So let's grab the square brush again. Actually, I'll grab the chalk painter and get in some more tone. So this is really just a sketchy kind of way to build up. It's not traditionally how I work, but I figured I would show you guys the whole silhouette thing. It still didn't come out as well as I hoped, but I would just keep plugging away and adding to it until I got it to something that I thought looked cool. But the silhouette process can be really freeing in a lot of ways, and I think it's worth a look if you haven't tried it before. You'll see a lot of concept artists do this, where or not this, but the silhouette, build up process. They're just really good at doing really great value studies, which isn't my strong suit. So I need to do that a lot more. And let me merge these down. So Command E, and I'm gonna shrink his head. I feel like his head looks too big for the body. So And X, Command Shift V to paste back in place. Grab this part and just going to stretch it up a bit. And Command E to merge it back. And I don't like the hand over here, so I'm going to try something different. Looks silly. What to do there? When in doubt, do a fist, I guess. They're easy. They're easy. That's why I do them. That's it, folks. Sorry. Especially when I'm trying to explain something, I'll go with the easy shot like that. And that looks funny. Smaller head looks a lot better. Yeah, I think that head was killing the proportions there. Thanks for saying so. Yeah, now I'm having trouble with the stupid fist here. Gotta love it. And maybe it's proportion related too. Proportions are definitely not my strong suit. I gotta work on that. Well, that's why it's just great to keep moving things around and being open to change, because proportions are a big one. I'm going to veto this hand real quick. And I think too what it is if he was making a fist, he wouldn't have, his arm probably wouldn't be as stretched out. So let me try to pull that back a little bit. And I'm thinking maybe the arm needs to get tucked back. So let's try this again. Or maybe it's the tilt. Maybe I just need to turn it more. Sheesh. I'm going to start looking in the mirror here in a second. Like, that's the other thing that I have to do sometimes to get these right. I think I'll struggle, and I'll try to find reference, but it's like good luck finding reference for the exact shot you need. So I start looking in the mirror, I start taking snapshots off my laptop and my phone, start making my girl pose for me, stuff like that, just trying to get the right angle. Seems like it's tilted too much or something. Comic Sis is back. Hey, how you doing? I obviously that you sketched out my checked out my Insta page. Thanks for the kind words. Yeah, good work, man. I just call it how it is. So I like the style in which you're drawing your characters. So glad I could stop by and check it out for you. I know I just started using Instagram too. It's like I fought it for a while, but then I thought, man, at least that one's more image based. So for artists, it kind of makes sense as far as a social media platform. I kind of do them all just because I'm trying to really get the word out there for stuff. But yeah, Instagram, I like the immediateness of it. You just post something and immediately get some feedback, and hey, you're awesome. Hey, you suck. Why do you even draw? Stuff like that. Goodness, man, this hand is killing me. Bad hand day. Anybody out there have bad hand days? I think I'm just going to have to move past it and come back. I'm almost seeing like a cape on this dude. I've been overly obsessed with caped characters lately. Cape Crusaders. Yeah, I thought the style was good, man. I thought it had like a nice cartoony caricature vibe, which I like a lot. Like one of my favorite comic artists is J. Scott Campbell, and the thing that I like most about his work is that kind of, well, besides the fact that it's really highly polished and awesome, but he's got that really nice caricature effect to the faces and stuff like that, and I think that's important. Like it conveys such feeling, you know. So I always tell people, like, if you're ever trying to get better at your character drawing, draw caricatures of your buddies and your family, and it's a great way to improve that part of your drawing. Or study, you know, and study Disney. Disney's got that stuff mastered. All right, let me add a little bit of light source, see if that'll brighten this thing up. It's looking pretty plain Jane at the moment. I should have fixed this spike. It's like crooked. Nothing worse than a crooked spike. All the things. What is up with my selection tools here? Come on. Oh, duh. I'm only on that one layer. Man. Alright, I'll fix that this way. The right way. It's better. Kinda. The cape makes him look very Batman-esque. Nice. That nice comment you left made my day and really inspired me to create a drawing today that I'm quite proud of. I'm going to post it in a bit. Maybe you could take a look. Yeah, I'll check it out. I'm glad I could inspire you. That's my job. That's what I'm all about. Trying to create the inspiration. I need to leave this hand alone. I'm going to make it worse. Yeah, and let me know what topics you guys want to see covered on here. I still need some feedback. I'm gonna possibly even do a, and don't mark my words on this, but I'm just kind of throwing it out there. You know, just kind of splashing the water a bit. I think I might do like an art giveaway, but it's probably gonna have to be digital art at first, just because I don't know what it would take. My luck, I would do like an art giveaway, and somebody from, you know, like Bangladesh or wherever would like win, and then I would have to figure out how to ship the art. I don't know much about that. So before I open my fat pie hole, I'm gonna just say that, you know, I'll do an art giveaway, but it'll be digital art. But you'll be able to pick like whatever character, and I'll do a, you know, hopefully a semi-good rendition of that character, and you know, you'll get the high-res digital copy of it. So I'm trying to work out the bugs or how I would present that. But also I need more ideas for just live streams. So like what it is that you'd want to learn, or what characters you'd like to see drawn. All that jazz. So, because I'm still relatively new to live stream. Definitely new to it on Twitch here. This is only like my second run, or third. I lost the first one. But anyways, you know, I need some food for thought on that. So you guys let me know what you think would be good ideas. So the young Ty says, and forgive me if I'm slaughtering that, I'd like to see some critiques, especially of some of your fans' work. So yeah, we're definitely going to do the critique sessions. In fact, people can start sending artwork to one of two places. I just need a way to reference the name. So whatever name, you know, you're trying to get out there or whatever, you can either send it to my Facebook. My Facebook is Ram Studio Comics. Don't send it to my personal Facebook. I don't use Facebook like that. I know some people do. My personal Facebook, I only have my immediate family and some friends. I don't do the whole, you know, let me get thousands of friends on my Facebook. I don't do that. So, but I do have a page for my art and for things like this, and it's Ram Studio Comics. In fact, I guess I could type it real quick. Let me do that real fast. So it's facebook.com/Ram Studios Comics. I think that should be right. So at any rate, you can send it there, or you can send it to my DeviantArt, and my DeviantArt is just under my name, Robert Marzullo. So if you got, but I know that's harder for people, or some people, because if they don't have a DeviantArt page, then they're going to have a tough time uploading art to that or something. And I guess you could tweet it, but just use those two. Use Ram Studio Comics on Facebook, and DeviantArt if you have a DeviantArt site page. Bleh. Anyways, and then I'll use that to do the critiques. I'll pick, I don't know how many people will submit, but if more than a few submit, then I'll have to pick how many I can get to. But that'd probably make for a pretty good live stream. I can like look at it and say, okay, and I'll be honest, I'm not mean and brutal with critiques, which probably is a bad thing, because really that's what you need to get better. You need somebody to really rip you apart and say, hey Rob, your spiked head character looks funny because he's got like no life to his face. He's like got a really plain face, or that hand is horrible because it is, but so it's building up that tough skin and being able to take that harsh criticism and turn it into something positive and get better with your work. But it can be tricky, and I hate being the death dealer on that one. So I try to keep it pretty friendly if I can. Comixist says, which is better, Mac or PC? I use both. I came from a long background of PC days where I built my own computers. In fact, the one that I have sitting next to me is one that me and some buddies built. By built, I say we just bought a bunch of parts from the internet and put it together, and we did that for years. They still do it. I switched to Mac just because I started working with people in the industry of like storyboards and things like that, and they were all kind of Mac based, and I just wanted to be able to keep up. Macs, in my opinion, are better because they just work out of the gate, and they seem like they're a bit more tailored to design. In fact, I want to say that's how Mac started, but I don't know all the history as well. But based on like using like the Apple iPad Pro, and I use a MacBook Pro for my main system, and it outperforms my PC in almost every way. The beauty of PCs are that they're cheaper. You can customize them more to your specific needs if you know what you're doing. They're cheaper. That's it. I said that. Yeah, and they're just, you can just really play with them. You can really learn about the guts and everything that goes into them, and really mess around with that. But you can't do that so much with Macs at all, really. You don't even get inside them. In fact, I would say that if you got inside it, you probably ruin it or something. Where PCs, it's like, no big deal. You just take the case off, start working on it. All right, I'll definitely send you some artwork. I also think it would be great to see some character concepts creation. Okay, yeah, we can definitely do that as well. Let me see how much more time. I got a little bit more time. I'll probably do another half hour, 45 minutes, and then I got a conference call I got to do. But yeah, that definitely would be great. We'll do some conceptual stuff. I mean, that's kind of what this is, but I didn't have much thought going into it, which I think shows in the work. It's kind of nothing special here, but and then something you can do, like as you get even this much down, this is still very rough. You can like lock transparency and take like a soft brush and just get some basic value in there, color. Let's try, I don't know, start off with some real desaturated blue or something for some of the body. And that's on normal mode, so that's going to wash some of it out. But you put it on color mode or overlay. You get just a little bit of color going in there. Oh, it's not working right there. Not enough range, probably. All right, let me just do this. Select, load selection. Whoa. And then Q for quick mask. I guess not. I'll just add to the selection. Just get all these loose little pieces out of there. And this is where working more solid saves time. I should have did that instead of just kind of brushing in tone. If you start with a solid shape, it makes the painting a lot faster. Okay, and Young Tai says, I think it would tie the character together more if you added some spikes on the suit like he has on the helmet. Yeah, good idea. I'll do that next here. See, that's what I need, a little feedback. That's the whole fun of this thing, you know. You guys comment and add, we come up with a character, and then, you know, you guys get mad when I use it in a book and it makes it to a movie and you never get a cut. You know, that whole thing. Fun. Fun stuff. I don't think this guy's going to make it to a movie. At least not anything real popular. Maybe like a really low budget movie. Spike Man. Spiky. Alright, so let me take a really saturated blue, drop that in the background, merge this down. Yeah, and then now with transparency locked, you know, you can do a lot more to it because, you know, as far as color goes, because it's got the solid fill to the back. That's what I should have did there. What color for the cape? Anybody? I'll do the spikes next. Just get a little face color in there in the hand. Dun dun dun. Super dude. Alright, alright, the spikes, where could we add those? And I'm gonna go ahead and cheat just a little bit. Don't mind me, just doing some cheating. A darker color, you're saying for the cape, like a darker blue, or what are you thinking there? Or a dark crimson red, or is that too much? Doing some cheating. I gotta love Photoshop, man. I can just cheat away. Just so you know, I'm holding Alt and pulling, and it gives you a copy. That was like a pretty amazing thing when I found that one out. And then after you get a few copies, you just hit Command E a few times, then make sure they're all together, and hold Alt, drag them over. You probably get lucky and maybe get them on this side. Nah, probably not. I'm gonna have to turn them too much. That ain't gonna work. Depends on his powers. Yeah, I don't know what powers this guy's got. I don't even know what he is. He kind of looks almost like a like a nicer version of Spawn or something. Like the friendly version. The happy-go-lucky version of Spawn. I don't know. I don't think he looks too happy, but yeah, so there's the spikes. I love spikes. You can keep those on a separate layer if you wanted, but I guess we can merge them down. It's no biggie. Yeah, I should do power radiating off his hand or no? So yeah, let me do the cape. So the one thing that is kind of nice once you get enough information down, this is still obviously really rough, but you can start doing selections and changing colors pretty quickly. So like you can use the base value range that you have and whatever you're doing and just kind of work from there, so you don't have to kind of keep redoing things. I'll show you here in a second. I'll get all these little elements of where the cape would be, something like that. And then you could take you think red? Okay, so you could take image, adjustments. You can either use hue saturation or color balance. I'll try hue saturation. I don't do this a lot, so I gotta remember. You know, and you can adjust some of it. You can also darken it. Like you said, you thought it would look better dark, more or less saturated. I'm going to up the saturation so I can see it. I'm trying to get some red in there, but I might have to just paint it in. Maybe there's not enough range there, so I'll just go with the darker effect. So what I'll generally do is like make incremental changes and hit Command Z to see the changes as I do them. Let's try color balance, and let's try to push some red in there. So, you know, this is always fun. Like, you can really play around with it and get some quick eye candy. You know, just kind of look at it and go, okay, what would it look like if his cape was a saturated red or yellow or whatever? You know, so it's a quick way to check. You know, purple. No more purple. We did a lot of purple in yesterday's stream. Let's try that. And you can control midtones, highlights, and shadows. So that's a really neat thing, because you can get a really nice realistic effect. I always feel weird saying realistic as I'm painting some dude with spikes and a cape. So not realistic, but you know what I mean, hopefully. Okay, so now, so there's the cape, and then we can punch up a light source on the side with the dodge tool. Let's just do that real quick, just on the very edge to kind of, you know, just give it a little bit more pizzazz. Something. And then if you got a selection like this, I always like keeping those selections, even though, again, this isn't a very refined piece by any means, but you can save that selection and then hit Command-Shift-I and invert the selection. So now I can, you know, itemize the other part of the character. So that's another good way to paint, you know, and just save those selections because they come in handy later. It's good to make them when they're when the character's a bit more defined, though. Yeah, he looks like a mix between a gladiator and a superhero. Yeah, it definitely does. Maybe that could be his name. Gladiator Man. I just gotta throw the man in there. So we can use that dodge tool and, you know, spark up the specularity on parts of the suit here. Yeah, I don't know. Something like that. And then just remember, you can save selections. So save selection. It flips over to the other screen and it moves my stupid live stream. That's awesome. I'll just give it a numeric value. And then I gotta find my live stream again. Window. Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that. That's really weird. Alright. So yeah. What else? By the way, alright, so Comics says, by the way, have you tried AstroPad? It's an app for the iPad that mirrors your art programs on the iPad, turning it into a sort of a Cintiq. Oh, there you go. I like the idea about the spear, young Ty. I'll do that right now. No, I haven't tried AstroPad Comics. I've heard about it. Somebody recommended it, and it does sound cool. The only real reason that I wanted the iPad Pro was the fact that it was portable. You know, like I sit up on the couch and draw some comics or whatever. So to me, making it into a Cintiq kind of defeats the purpose of the portability aspect. I'm sure it'd be cool to try, but I just, like I said, I didn't get it for that. Like I have a Cintiq, so I would use the Cintiq for that. I'm gonna actually just delete this hand because I like the idea of the spike. So I'm gonna just redraw it. So to me, it's like, you know, I just use the Cintiq to be tethered to my system like I am right now, and then I use the iPad Pro to move around and paint and draw on the go. So that was my whole reasoning, because I was almost going to buy a Cintiq companion. I was really close. Well, by close I mean I was still saving up, but you know, I was going to after I got the money, but I was just kept looking at the price tag too, and I'm like, God, man, it's a heavy ticket. And then I was reading the reviews, and people were like, it's just too loud, and it only stays charged for like 3-4 hours if you're lucky, depending on what you're doing. And I'm like, whoa, that's not cool for me, because I don't want to have to stay by a plug the whole time, you know. And that's what I like about the iPad Pro is it's oh, it's wireless too, huh? That AstroPad thingy. But yeah, it's well, I know, but it's wireless, but it still would be it still would be you know, you still got to use your screen, right? I mean, you're drawing on the iPad, but then you're still looking at your screen, so you still got to be by your computer, right? Isn't that what you're saying? And that's what I'm saying. I wanted it to be straight portable. Just get up, walk over here, draw over here. I've even been trying to stand up and draw more. You know, just to kind of change it up a bit. It's you sit in these chairs for long hours and long nights. You know, it wears on you. Like I draw on average. Um, you can't tell right now because this is like the hand from hell. But you know, but I draw for hours. So essentially, it's you know, like some days I might be in this chair for like 14 hours, and it's just crazy. So the iPad allows me to get up and move around and maybe do some of my sketching upstairs, hang out with the family, and then come downstairs and do the finished work. So that's predominantly the way that I look at it and why I did it. But yeah, I mean, I might try that AstroPad just for trying it. You can be on the couch because it connects through Wi-Fi. Yeah, but I like having the screen right up to my face, so that's like where the iPad itself is pretty good for what I'm doing. You know, like I feel like I'm using a sketch pad again, which is awesome because I miss the sketch pad days. Like they're sitting right off to the side of me and I don't pick them up. But the iPad's now my sketch pad basically. Something helps spark creativity drawing on the go as well. You know, like you know, you see a lot of artists that will paint on site for that same reason. You know, especially because they're doing like landscape studies and things like that. But you know, it's really really helps break that monotony of sitting in the basement studio all the time. Does that spear look too plain, you think? Should we do something a little crazier, or what do you think? Input, people. I need input. Please. And thank you. I feel like it's a pretty boring spear. Yeah, it's got one of the best drawing experiences out of all the devices, in my opinion. I mean, I love my Cintiq. You know, that's where I spend most of my time. Like I said, that's where I do my finish work. That's what I'm working on right now. But um, yeah, just the ability to hop up and go and start drawing wherever is pretty paramount. Hmm. Like a demon face, like a stone one. Eh, yeah, maybe, or maybe a skull. I'm not really into doing demons, um, but I could do a skull. Skull's kind of like a demon, but not really, I guess. Yeah, let's do that. I'll throw a skull in there for you. You should put miniature spikes on the spear tip. Huh. I could try that. I was almost thinking like the little hooks off to the side too, like barbs or whatever you call them. Like when you see a fishing line, it's got that little hook at the end. You're like, just looks scary. Man, I'd hate to be at the end of that sucker. And you know, you start fishing and ripping them out of the guts of the poor little fish. At least I do. I can never seem to get the hook out without destroying the poor guy. Alright, so a skull in here, right? So, let's start with the eyes. That little nose thingy. Cheekbones. Little teeth. Something like that. And the head. I don't know. Is that good? I mean, I'll still fine tune it, but that's what you meant, right? Some kind of skull in there. So what are you using to draw? You said an iPad. Cooling X Shadow. I don't know how to say that. Forgive me if I'm slaughtering that. So what are you using to draw? Right now I'm using a Cintiq, but we were talking about the iPad Pro that I recently got, and I use that as well. So, but predominantly for majority of my work, it's still the Cintiq. Not because I can't do it on the iPad Pro, just because I'm still used to my regiment, my way of working. But the more and more I progress, the more that iPad Pro, I'm doing more and more finish work on it. Like I just did a piece of painting on Spawn. You can see that on my DeviantArt, Facebook. I think I posted it everywhere. And that was all done on the iPad Pro. I'm doing a Final Fantasy shot of lightning. That's all done on the iPad Pro. So I'm doing more and more where it's all the drawing, the painting, all the finish work on the iPad Pro. For my professional work, I do it on the Cintiq just because I'm a little bit faster, and yeah, I got to be fast for storyboards. So, what do you use though? Cooling. What's your favorite device? No, nothing. You don't want to tell me, or you still typing? Is there a delay? Man, I wish there's got to be a way to know what the delay is on this. It's the only thing I don't like. About streaming. Okay, just got a computer right now, getting more into digital art. Comics says I mainly use a Cintiq 13 and love it. Yeah, those are badass. I've got a buddy that used one of those for years. He just recently upgraded to the big dog, the 27, but he got a lot of work done on that 13. So they're amazing devices. Yeah, and if you're looking to just get into it, cooling. Yeah, there is a delay. I know it. I would say start off with the Intuos tablets, just because you can do amazing work on those. They're cheap or cheaper, and you can get started and work up. I used an Intuos tablet for about 5 years. It might have been closer to 7. I used it for years before I went with a direct display device or whatever. And I probably should have stayed on it longer. And then recently I've been able to do some of my best work on the Intuos. Like I did one of Orgrim Doomhammer from World of Warcraft. That actually got featured on their Blizzard's websites, their Twitter and all that. They tweeted it and all that. And that was done on Intuos because I had to watch my son one day, so I had to sit upstairs and I couldn't bring my whole setup up there, and I didn't have the iPad Pro, so I did that on the Intuos tablet, and to date that's been one of my best pieces that's got the most recognition. So, and I got an art buddy named Chris Scalf that he does some amazing digital paintings, and he doesn't use anything but the Intuos tablets. So you look at certain artists' work and they accomplish amazing things with the regular tablets. You don't have to draw directly on the screen, in my opinion, but but I guess it depends a little bit on your style and your comfort level and all that as well. I think over time you can overcome whatever device you're using, but that's up to you. You know, if you feel comfortable or not with that. Well, that's just my take on it. Yeah, Comics just says I used it in tools for about 2 years and then only recently switched to the 13. And then Cooling X says, holy shite, you draw so sickly, I can't do stuff like that yet. But I'll be looking to get the Intuos. Yeah, lots of years, man. So, I mean, I appreciate you saying that. Very kind of you. Um, but I've drawn ever since I can remember, and I still have my bad days. Like, I don't feel like this is that great, but I appreciate you saying it is. Um, but yeah, it's just lots of practice. You know, I used to tell all my buddies, they'd always want me to like go out party and hang out and stuff like that, and I would sit at home and draw, and they'd kind of make fun of me, you know, whatever, like friends do, you know. But it was always my intention to like try to get really, really good, hopefully, and I still feel like I'm nowhere near as good as I'd like to be, but I'm always in that pursuit, and you know, it just keeps me going. It's like something I'm excited about. I've been drawing ever since I can remember. Oh, I'm sorry. Cooling ass, how long have I been drawing? And, but then you said, okay, so I probably just answered it before I realized you asked it. But I've been drawing, this is embarrassing, but I'm 40 right now. I'm a 40-year-old person. So I've been drawing, God, I was heavily drawn at 5, you know, so 35 years. I did take a bit of a sabbatical, even though I always continued to draw. I took a bit of a sabbatical from ages 25 to 35, and the reason being is I started a business, and the business was consuming a lot more of my time to run. It was a sign shop, so I still did artwork in a way, you know, or still did artwork, but not in the same regard. So I took a bit of that leave kind of by running a business, and then a few years ago, I just said, you know what, to hell with it. I'm going back to just being an artist, and I shut the business down. And now you see what I'm doing now. This is all kind of in effect to that. So it's kind of scary in a way, but I know it's for the best. I had to do it. It was like something I wish I would have never took the time out. I feel like I'd be further along in my art career. Yeah, comics is a good point. Art is not about being the best; it's about having fun in the process. And Young Tay says, "True that." Yeah, that's so true. I mean, it's about enjoying the journey. You know, not the destination. There's no. I mean, you can put destinations in your mind and say, my destination is to work for Marvel. I want to draw Spider-Man. That's my destination, if I had one. You know, but to me, that's still part of the journey. You know, drawing the books each month, enjoying every panel of creating the characters and the development of the stories and working with the people, and that's all part of the journey. And you know, the destination isn't real. It's like how, you know, time isn't real. You know, you just have to enjoy every day and experience it, and then you'll be happy. But if you focus too much on, oh, I'm not good enough, and I draw horrible hands with ugly spears in them. You know, you're gonna bog yourself down mentally, I think, and you just have to. You can't do that. You got to enjoy what you're doing, because that ultimately shows in your work, and you know, other people will see that. Probably in school. Probably in school says, this is saving me from boredom in class. Thank you. Also, can't hear anything, so the chat is so confusing. Oh no, you can't hear me talking? Is that what you're saying? And LOL, we're talking about his journey with art and design and just stuff to draw on. Oh, thanks for clarifying. By the way, I'm doodling on the iPad right now. Gotta love it. Yeah, and I don't know how much of this I'm supposed to read, or if I should just keep drawing and let you guys talk back and forth, which probably makes more sense. So just realize I'm new to the process, and let me know if you can't hear me talk. And you guys can hear me all right, right? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I want to make sure because I got the mic pretty close up to my my face here, so I'm hoping this is you guys are hearing me all right. Oh, he's saying because he's got the volume down because he's in school, right? God, I'm so slow here. I'll catch up. Just give me time. All right, I gotta work on something else. I've been noodling on that hand and spear, and it still looks really bad. So transparency is locked. Okay, let me see if I can do like a little more contrast. Set this to multiply. Okay, the audio's fine. Goodness. All right, thank you. Yeah, because I never know, and I constantly get on my YouTube channel. I constantly get people going, "You don't talk loud enough." I'm like, dang it, man! I feel like I'm yelling, but I know that you do gotta punch it up, and then maybe some people don't have the best speakers to their setup and all that. So I'm just not a loud person generally. I don't think, but I think maybe for this it would make sense. Let's see here, chalk painter. Okay, so let's get a little bit of bounce light. This always helps round out the form. I kind of abuse this effect, really. But hey, it's comics, or comic-like art, so we can do whatever we want. Put bounce light all over the place. What it does, it really helps to give like more of a 3D kind of vibe to the parts of it. And light does bounce around, so it's not like I'm lying. I ain't lying. Alright, what do you guys think for the next video then? I don't know if we'll be able to do the critiques quite as quick because we'll need time to get the artwork in so I can look it over and think about mean stuff I can say about people's artwork. But we could do a fan art piece next. You know, pick like a character. Yeah, just need to get a bunch of ideas going so I can line up some content. Let's see. I'm on a Mac where I don't have time. Okay, just trying to read some of your guys' comments here. Alright, good. You guys are talking back and forth. Sweet. That helps me out. So I can focus. Focus on the art. Focus on my really bad art over here. Sheesh. Oh, and just so you guys know, I'm going to have to do this. It's going to sound really bad, but I'm going to plug my brushes here. These are my custom brushes. You can get those on my Gumroad. There's a bunch of them, and they're awesome. Sorry, had to do it. That's enough. Back to drawing. Character redesign. Cool. Well, I look at your Instagram this stream quickly. Yeah, so Comicsis, I'm not gonna pull up anybody's pages or anything like that. Unfortunately, I don't want to get on that note, you know. So I'll always be happy to stop by and look at your work, and then you're even welcome to share a link, you know, as long as you don't blast it all the time or whatever. But yeah, so I'll be happy to look at your work when I can, and you're welcome to shout out a link in the text there. Yeah, let's get a little bit more dark in the eye sockets here. Dynamic poses or random sketching. Yeah, we might have to do that because honestly, that's always a good topic on YouTube when I do those, and I enjoy those. They're great practice. I actually warm up doing thumbnail sketches of poses quite a bit, so maybe we'll do that for the next live stream. And keep in mind, I'm going to be back here tomorrow, Wednesday at 5. That's actually the official 1 week weekly live stream time. Goodness, I can't talk. Will be Wednesdays, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then we'll progress from there. I'll try to add more and stuff like that. But for now, that's kind of the schedule. I'm thinking it might be Mondays and Wednesdays at 5, but I don't know. I just got to see what I can fit into my workload, and I got to make sure that this doesn't become a distraction from producing work, or I'll won't be able to do it. So I gotta slowly ease it into my schedule, and I don't want to tick off the family, nothing like that. I gotta balance everything out. So. Let's see. Young Ty says you could even expand on this character or characters from Blackstone. Oh, nice. You're familiar with Blackstone. Thank you. Appreciate that. You just helped me shout out my character. How kind of you. Yeah, I do need to do some character development for Blackstone anyways. Especially by books 3 and 4, I want to introduce like a nice slew of characters. I might even have to do like a group of villains that attack him. Kind of show like his abilities and all that. If he could fight off a whole group. I always liked that in comics where the hero would have to fight off an entire like team, like the X-Men, but the villain version. But it was like one hero, like Spider-Man or Spawn or whoever. I always thought that was a neat kind of story to tell, and fun to draw, obviously, because it was always neat having to picture how the hero would deal with multiple opponents. So yeah, we might have to do something like that. So good ideas there. I appreciate that. Do you have any tips for me? No, I mean, I can't say I do, other than just, you look like you got a great style and you know what you're trying to put down. So that's awesome. Just keep at that, and, just dedicate lots and lots of time. Whenever people ask me how to get better, that's always my biggest rebuttal, is just dedicate lots of time. Time is everything when it comes to art. It's how you figure out all the minutia, all the details of your work, good and bad, and and you build this huge portfolio so that you can look back on your work and see what you were doing right, what you were doing wrong, and that's how you improve. So that's my biggest thing, is just keep producing lots and lots of pieces. Share them. One of the neat things about sharing your work on Instagram, Facebook, DeviantArt, wherever, is the fact that you get these little likes and dislikes, which can be like so depressing at times and rewarding at other times. But I would say not to look at them like that. That's something I got to fight. But but what they are is they're a great way to gauge what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong, essentially. Because sometimes you get too close to your own work, and sometimes you think everything you do is great. Other times you think everything you do sucks. So what happens is when you share it, you're kind of getting this brutal honesty from people just by them liking or disliking it. Don't listen to the negative comments, because that could be somebody having a bad day. But there's something really honest about lack of likes or an extreme amount of likes on your work. And, don't let it make or break what you're doing by any means, but just, you can use that as a gauge, essentially. Oh, you got the comic and thought it was really cool? Sent you some fan art on Facebook for critique. Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, thanks for getting the comic, and thanks for sending some work in. So I'm going to finish with this because I got a conference call I got to start here in a bit. Hopefully you liked the work today. Hopefully you've learned something from it. There'll be more like this, and hopefully a heck of a lot better than this one turned out. But, it's fun working with you guys. And just keep in mind that you can support me on Gumroad and Patreon. It keeps me doing the work that I'm doing here and allows me to be creative and focus on this. And yeah, send in your artwork to either Ram Studio Comics on Facebook or my DeviantArt, which is just Robert Marzullo. So like DeviantArt / Robert Marzullo, or just search me and find it that way. And if you send me your work, I'll enter it into a critique session that we're going to be doing on the live stream here. So get the work in. You can make sure you let me know what name you want me to shout out once I pick somebody or a series of somebody's. And we'll probably flip through, I don't know, 4 or 5, however many we can get through in a live stream and still critique and talk. And yeah, we'll share that, and it'll be fun for everybody. So any last questions, type them in, and I'll type them back to you. So thanks very much for tuning in. Keep drawing, keep having fun, and I'll talk to you soon.